Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. So let's get right to the show I have for you guys today. Again, we are currently on TikTok Live, as well as we're going to be posting this on our YouTube channel, as well as our Apple Podcast and Spotify audio show. So don't forget to check it out on those platforms. Coming to you live right now from East Rutherford. We are currently at, I should say, it is Friday morning. What a turn of events we had last night in the sports world when it comes to the NBA and NHL. We had two massive games with big ramifications. One that was basically a series ending game, as well as another one that really took a commanding series lead. So we'll get to those two things, but we're going to start with the NBA. As the Timberwolves were able to close out the Dallas Mavericks last night in Minnesota, the Dallas Mavericks were able to close out Minnesota in Minnesota in Game 5. As we know, I thought after the Game 4 performance by the Timberwolves in Dallas that they were going to come back home and they were at least going to get that one win to push it to a Game 6 in Dallas. And if they eventually lost in Dallas, they lost in Dallas, but at least they tried and they moved ahead. But that was just not what happened. They absolutely got obliterated last night. They let up Luka give up 20 points in the first quarter. He finished with 25 at halftime. He finished with 36 for the game. Kyrie Irving was in his bag last night. He finished with 36. They combined for almost 80 points. Is absolutely ridiculous. Just Kyrie and Luka, man, they are class acts. They are world-class players. They did what they had to do in a closeout game. They could have closed it out in Dallas, but they gave it to Minnesota where they blew them out. They were up 69-40 at halftime. They were up by 29 points. The lowest that the Timberwolves got it to was 22. And just Dallas and just did not look back as they dominated the game from start to finish. Luka put his stamp on it early and really never looked back from there. Kyrie Irving, like I said, was doing his thing. But the Minnesota Timberwolves, their youth showed, as well as not just really their youth, they were just tired. They looked exhausted. They looked like they really couldn't play as good of defense as they did when they played Denver. Denver, they played great defense. It went to Game 7, and I think because of it going to Game 7, it took a lot out of them to win that series and to come back from down 3-2. They needed to win 2 straight, and it took a lot out of them. So I believe that was really the big cause of why they plummeted in this Dallas series. Because if you look at it, we're going to share my screen right now, and if you look at just the glaring statistics from these games, is just unbelievable on how well Dallas played and how poorly Minnesota played. So if you look at it right now, we have Dallas winning the series, like we said, in 5 games. But if you look at it, first game was 108-105 Dallas. Second game was 109-108 Dallas. Third game was 116-107 Dallas. Fourth game was 105-100 Dallas. This was the biggest blowout, which was 124-103 last night. The series average of points, really every statistical category except for assists, the Mavericks won. They averaged 111.4 points a game. Timberwolves only averaged 105.6 rebounds per game. The Mavericks averaged 41.4. The Timberwolves only averaged 38.8. Assist a game, they won in the assist category, but man, the Dallas Mavericks, every assist looked like they were hitting threes. Minnesota averaged 23.0 assists. Dallas averaged 21.2. Anthony Edwards had a quiet series, 24.6 points a game, 8.8 rebounds, and 7.8 assists. Luka, he averaged 32.4 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 8.2 assists. He was by far the best player in the series. But if you just look at just the stat sheet in general for it's not even close, really, if you look at it. You have the team comparisons. We said points, we said rebounds, we said assists, steals, went there. Blocks went to Dallas. Turnovers actually were more on Dallas' side, but field goal percentage, they shot 50% for the series. Minnesota only shot 45. 3-point percentage, Dallas shot 38.6. Minnesota only shot 36.7. Free throw percentage, it was a glaring factor. Minnesota really couldn't really hit free throws that much. They only shot 73%. Dallas shot 81. If you just look at that, that's really a glaring factor there. But man, Luka did what he had to do, and when the big shots needed to be made, who came in clutch was Kyrie Irving. I believe was the clutchest player in the NBA. His floor general and his decision making is ridiculous. Other than the decision making that they had in the 105-100 loss, where he turned the ball over late. Other than that, man, that guy Kyrie Irving is so humble now. He's so about it. He's not caring about anything outside of basketball. He's really just focusing on the Mavericks. They didn't even say anything about the Celtics when asked about it by Ernie Johnson. He just literally said, "Hey, they're in our way to our ultimate goal of winning a championship. That's all I care about. Let's enjoy this, and let's get to that. Let's get ready for that series against Boston." That's pretty much it, and that's how you got to say it. You can't dwindle on the fact, all right, well, I had a bad time in Boston, this, that, and the other thing. You just got to push through and keep going from there. And if you could do that, by all means, it's going to be big time. But the Mavericks, man, kudos to them. They got the win. I really picked Minnesota. Thought Minnesota had their only chance to come back in this series and win this series. I just think Minnesota, they just got tired. They got tired of that Denver Nuggets series, and then respectfully, I think Anthony Edwards calling out Kyrie and Luka and really talking his crap after the Denver series really wasn't the best thing to do. And then also saying before Game 5 even started, after Game 4, saying we'll be back in Dallas for Game 6. You can't say it against Luka, and it looked like Luka really wanted to show him that, nah, bro, we going to the finals, you going home. I think just the Mavericks deserved it. They played well enough. They played better. They wanted it more, and that's all you can ask for a team. As a coach, all you can ask for is your team wanting it and wanting it bad enough. That's all really you can say. But moving on from that, we're gonna stop screen sharing. We're gonna go into our full screen here. We're gonna move to the NHL. But we got some stuff to talk about with the NHL. This is going to be a quick segment. We're not going to really go into some crazy things today. It's just going to be recapping basically what happened last night and my thoughts on it. But right now, like I said, we're doing NBA and NHL talk. First up, the Rangers. But actually, before I even get to that, let's just go over the grand scheme of things of basketball knowledge of just the Celtics and the Mavericks, and that matchup that's going to be hella good coming up. I believe this final start on June 8th. It's going to be a sight to see. If you're a basketball fan like I am, and you just love watching basketball, no matter if your team's in it or not, you're going to love this. This series is going to be fireworks all over the place. You got Jaylen Brown, you got Jason Tatum versus Luka and Kyrie. It is going to be crazy, not to forget Drew Holiday, P.J. Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., Lively. You got a lot of boys on Dallas' side, but you got Al Horford, Drew Holiday. You got a bunch of guys on the Boston side of things that can do their damage. So we'll see how well this series goes. I'm eventually going to be picking Dallas to win this series. I'm going to wait until it gets closer before I say how many games. But both teams closed it out early, so they should be fresh. Dallas closed it out in 5. Boston closed it out in 4. Obviously, Boston's going to have more rest. But I don't trust Boston, man. I know all this stuff. I believe in Jason Tatum. I do. But one, I'm a Lakers fan. But no bias shit anyways. I just don't trust them. They don't come up in the big moments. And when they do, they're never available. They're never alive to do it. And I just think that they're really going to run into problems trying to guard Luka and Kyrie. Because it's just you got to stay in front. And even when you stay in front, they can still hit ridiculous shots right over you. And you really can't do nothing about it. So that's really the big cause of my concern for Boston. Can they guard can they guard Luka and Kyrie, and can they stop the offense of the Dallas Mavericks? Because of the schemes that Jason Kidd runs is ridiculous. And the way he gets Luka, Kyrie, Derrick Jones Jr., PJ Washington, Lively, all these boys wide open for shots, for dunks, for layups. It's ridiculous. So great on that for coaching staff for the schemes that they run defensively and offensively. It's wonders to look at. But moving on from that, we're 10 minutes into our show. We're gonna do a little 10-minute segment on the NHL, and then that will be it for my show here on season 3, episode 26 of the Fire Sports Pod on Friday. So let's get right to it. It is currently May 31st. We are 10 minutes, like I said, into the show, and now we're going to share our screen to go over some NHL talk. So let's get right into it. But man, what a game last night. It was between the Florida Panthers and my New York Rangers. You really couldn't ask for a better game or even a better series to end up to go to the finals. If you look at it, game 1, Florida dominated the Rangers really late. It was kind of our fault. Then we win in overtime in a gut-wrenching game. It was fantastic to see it at the Garden, winning 2-1. Then we go back for game 3, winning another crazy game in overtime, 5-4. Then we lose game 4, 3-2 in overtime. And then we lose again, 3-2. But last night, man, it was such a gut-wrenching loss. Chris Kreider finally scored in the series, giving us a 1-0 lead. They tie up 1-1. We're down 2-1 late. They pull Shesterkin with an empty netter as the Florida goes up 3-1. Then Zibanejad hits. Looks like he shot the goal, but Lafreniere was there to tip it in. So Zibanejad had 2 assists in the game last night, but wasn't enough as we lost 3-2 at the end. They just held it for the last 20 seconds in the corner, and they won the game. But kudos to Florida. They came in Madison Square Garden, got the job done. I did say it was going game 7, but I didn't think that the Rangers would be down 3-2 going back to Florida. Even though the home field advantage, the home ice advantage has not mattered in this series. As you could see, Florida won game 1 in Madison Square Garden. We won game 2 in New York. Then we won game 3 in Florida. Then they won game 4 in Florida. Then the way this series is going is that game 1 is won by the first game won by Panthers, second game won by Rangers. First game in Florida won by Rangers, second game won by Panthers. First game back in whatever. It's looking like it's going to lead up that maybe the Rangers will get this win. But game 6 is this Saturday, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time on ABC. Don't forget to check it out. It's going to be great. Hey, NTG Grind, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks. I appreciate liking the live. Don't forget, guys, to share, follow, and like the live, and share it to your boys and everybody that you know. Get them to give me a follow. Not just the TikTok. Also, we're on Instagram at the Fire Sports Pod, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify at the Fire Sports Pod, as well as YouTube. So go check it out. Give me a like, give me a follow, and share this live. Appreciate it. But yeah, Florida did their best. They did what they had to do. They got the win. I think our defense has to be a little bit better. Shesterkin has been left alone. I mean, we could have got killed like 6-2 last night. We also could have won 6-2. There were so many opportunities on rebounds and punchbacks when it comes to off the net. I mean, off the post, off the leg of the goalie. There was so many opportunities, and we could not get the job done, which kind of just sucked because I knew that we were right there and we could have hit these. We could have hit them. We could have hit them, and if the Rangers would have capitalized on the opportunities, we would have won this game. But now we're down 3-2. Aiden, what's up, my man? How you been? Appreciate all the likes. Thank you, brother. But down 3-2, going back to Florida is going to be tough, but it's do or die. We got to win this game to keep the series going. And if we do win, Game 7 will be on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, back at the Garden on ESPN. So it's going to be great to see. Can Florida close it out? And then if Florida closes out, man, kudos to them. They were the better team in the regular season when it came to us. They beat us. And if they do win, kudos to them. It's not my. I don't go crazy with this stuff. I'm a fanatic when it comes to sports, but I'm not going to let it ruin my day and rule my life. I have my own life. So if we lose, we lose. We win, we win. I'm going to be happy. But if we lose, we lose. The better team won, and the Panthers have become one of my second favorite team. Is my second favorite team. So if they do lose, I'm fine with going for the Panthers because I think the Panthers will win the cup no matter what. But I do think the Rangers will not lose this series. I think we win Game 6 on Saturday, and then we come back to the Garden and we win Game 7. It's going to be tough, I know you said NTG grind. You said you're going to Florida now, LOL. Yeah, I know you're going to Florida, but guess what? Still have faith in the Rangers. Rangers are coming back. I'm going to call it right now. Zibanejad, Kreider, and Panarin will all have points, assists, and a goal. Not all of them will have a goal, but at least one of the three will have a goal and do something for the Rangers in this next game, because we're going to need it for both Game 6 and Game 7, especially after Game 6. If we win, we need to finish it in Game 7. But again, like I said, I always gave respect to the Panthers. Never dwindled. Never said that they were bad. Never said we were going to sweep them. Never said I said 6 or 7. We could have closed it out. We didn't get the job done in Game 4, and we couldn't get the job done in Game 5. So now we got to get the job done 2 games in a row. Game 6 in Florida and Game 7 in Madison Square Garden to close it out. What's up, Owen? How you doing, brother? I appreciate all the likes. NTG grind. We're at 1,000 right now. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. We're currently 16 minutes into the show. Just want to go over not just the Rangers, as well as we're gonna kind of go over the series that we have on the Western Conference side of things between the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars, because this is a hell of a series as well. These games have been gone back and forth, just like the Panthers games. I mean, how could you not ask for a better series for the Western and Eastern Conference than for the Western Conference between the Stars and the Oilers? Both are 6-4 in the playoffs, as well as the Rangers. Rangers have kind of slowed down since the last series against the Hurricanes. But, man, it has been great to see both sides, Eastern and Western, have really potential opponents. And both series could go to Game 7, which is nuts. I do expect that the Dallas Stars do win this game tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time back in Dallas. I do think that maybe Game 6, if Edmonton does win, it's going to be Dallas winning in Game 7. If Edmonton loses, obviously Dallas wins in 6. But I think the Oilers just miss out on the finals, as I think they'll lose either not 2 straight, but I think they'll lose in Game 7 against Dallas. So I got 2 series. Even though I said Dallas in 6, I'm going to keep it Dallas in 6, but I don't know, man. I don't think the Oilers are going to lose at home. It's a win or die situation. I think Connor McDavid is going to go nuts there. But yeah, again, tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. Check it out. Game 5. Game 6 will be Sunday for this series at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. And Game 7, if there is a Game 7, will be on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. Go check it out. Hey, it's been great playoffs for both NHL and NBA. I couldn't ask for better NHL and NBA playoffs. It's been so exciting, electrifying. You've had, for the NBA, guys scoring over 40. You've had guys going for over 20 in a first half. You've had crazy dunks. You've had great games coming down to the wire. There have been a rarity of blowouts. There haven't been so many blowouts, especially for the West side of things. Everything's been really tight and going at it. But we'll see. And even the NHL, like we said earlier, this series is tied up 2 games apiece. The Florida and Rangers series is Florida's up 3 games to 2. It's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I just think both series, as well as the NBA, has been fantastic. Even the Boston and Celtics series, even though Boston won in 4, every game was competitive. No blowout. Every game was competitive. Every game really came down to the wire. And I just think that Boston just got the best of them, and that's what's just going to happen when you don't have you're not fully healthy. But man, if you guys have missed the NBA or NHL playoffs and is not a big NHL or NBA playoffs fan, I would definitely suggest going on and watching some NBA playoffs as well as NHL playoffs, because it is exciting. Even if you don't know what's going on, watch my show and we'll tell you what's going on. But it's been one hell of a ride, and I can't believe in about a month or so everything will be over, and we'll just be talking about baseball, getting ready for off season for the NBA, off season for the NFL, beginning of the season, and as well as the NHL. It's going to be ridiculous how in about a month all the sports are basically done, and then we can focus on the Yankees and baseball and how they are going for their 40th win tonight. Can they get it done against the San Francisco Giants in San Francisco? I think they do, and they will become 40-19 on the season. They are playing their best baseball, and we are still not healthy. Even though we had a little bit of a loss as Clark Schmidt will no longer be in the lineup for about 6 weeks with a calf strain. So we'll see how well he comes back and can he be as dominant as he was already. We got currently 2.3K likes on the live right now. Appreciate all the likes, my guy. Thank you, Owen. I appreciate you guys all supporting me and staying in the chat. I appreciate that. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it for my show here today on the Fire Sports Pod. I'm your host, Zack Jackson, here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. Appreciate all the support again, guys. It's currently 11:13 a.m. Again, this is Season 3, Episode 26. We went over some NBA and NHL talk, went over the Dallas Mavericks and Timberwolves series, as well as the Florida Panthers, Rangers, and Oilers and Stars series in the NHL. And then we did a slight little segment on how well the Yankees have been playing and do I think they get their 40th win tonight. So that is the case. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'll stay on the TikTok live for just a little bit to answer any further questions. But other than that, for my show here on the Fire Sports Pod, I'm out. And I'll see you guys on Recap Monday next week. Peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend.